My reaction to the house was, this is just incredibly well done and of great interest to me, and obviously well thought of in St. Augustine as an example of historic preservation. The role of the preservation architect can vary greatly from one project to another. It can be defined and has been defined as forensic architecture or above-grade archaeology, because what we do is the same thing essentially as the archaeologists, only we keep our hands a little bit cleaner than they do, but we have just as much fun. The challenge in restoring this house was simply to look at it based on the extraordinary historical information that had already been assembled by the colonial dames. We had a great deal of documentary evidence about the use of the building as a boarding house from the early 1800s up through the middle 1800s. And so my purpose was simply to look at the structure and identify those parts of the structure that would confirm in sticks and stones that this is indeed the way the building was at those particular dates. You try to identify the earliest configuration of the building if you can. It's not always possible. But you try to, and you try to trace its evolution over time. And from that, you can usually determine which period of its evolution is the most important historically. And it may well be, as in this building, you really don't want to change much at all because its evolution is all important. You do a lot of dirty crawling through attics and crawl spaces, looking at materials, sometimes very carefully removing some materials in hidden areas that might help you identify the sequence of construction of the building. Of particular value in this type of investigation is looking at the nails in a building. There were some significant changes in the manufacture of nails. Hand-wrought nails would have been used in most structures here before about 1820, 1830. So the nails that came in and took the place of hand-wrought nails were cut nails, machine-made. They're very distinctive. They have square shanks on the nails. Saw marks are another type of thing that can help you identify a building. I think probably, looking back on it, the thing that surprised us the most was discovering those shingles in the attic that had been left in place when the later addition to the West Wing was completed. These were hand-planed shingles in beautiful condition. Another profession comes into play here, and that's archaeology. If you think that excavating around the building, or perhaps even within the building, and in this particular case, we even did some excavation in the building around one of the fireplaces. But if you feel that that type of excavation would help you date the particular periods of the evolution of the house, then that should be done also. I do know that it is recorded that one of the panes of glass in this room, as a matter of fact, was found with the initials of one of the sons of one of the people who occupied this house. Been etched in there with a diamond ring, probably. That original pane still existed, and I believe finding that pane with this initial led to the documentation of what those initials were, who had probably done it. And so you develop a story around those things that you find in the field. The basic thing that visitors would learn when they visit the house is the story of a boarding house in St. Augustine at a certain period of time, a certain very important period in the history of the state of Florida. Secondly, they're going to learn that, by golly, learning all of this stuff was not easy. It took a great deal of research and a great deal of money and a lot of different people to put all of this information together. In other words, preservation is not just a casual thing that happens. And lastly, I simply think that they will enjoy walking through a beautiful building and appreciating the fact that the colonial dames, who have done this work for so many years, love this place. And I think that they can feel that this is an outstanding testament to taking care of a wonderful house over a long period of time.